see the menu?
I can, yes. So we're going to be
Just give me the
focusing
first.
It's going to be squad roles and the expectations. We're going to talk about movement as a squad and the point system for the different tournaments.
Okay, cool. So for those that have got to go or can't stay for the whole thing, is there any particular order you want to do it in?
I'm really interested in moving as a squad and anything
Okay.
having to do with squad tactics and stuff. That's my...
Okay.
And
We'll cover
least
them
interested
first, then.
in points, but...
Okay, we'll cover them first then. So, I mean, first of all, like squad roles, like it really depends on whether you've got squads and stuff like that you're regular with, or whether you randomly, meet up and play in squads and stuff like that. So the first question I'd ask you is, who's got a regular squad?
Generally.
Okay, so it's much harder when you don't have a regular squad to be able to assign roles, is what I'll say. And there's quite a bit of expectation when you're playing with random players or people that you don't play with very often, where you can get quite frustrated with a game because you know what you want to do and what you want the roles to be, but you can't implement them because you don't play with them often enough. So we'll go with the regular squad. It's helpful to have roles in a regular squad, but I do believe that it all comes from the makeup and the chemistry. So depending on what level you are, so you could take like a top diamond or PPL level player, and they will all have clearly defined roles within their squad. So you'll have things like an IGL, so an in-game leader, and they'll be the ones that make out all the calls, all the rotations, when to push, what's going on. They are the eyes and ears of the game, and usually the other two are adding to that, but they are they're the go-getters and the ones that are kind of all over the detail that they're getting from the communication. So just take, for example, Complete Guarantee in Cobra EU. So when you watch anything that they do, it's always pretty much Complete that does all the calls. So guys, keep your eyes to the left here. There's a team here. 3 teams have landed on the right here. You've got one rotating over at Kingdom. Right, we're going to go here, guys. You take top, I'll take bottom. And they're kind of always consistently calling, and you don't really hear too much from Hatia and Danov until it gets into that kind of final zone, and then it's like it's trusted that everybody knows what to do and what their role is. So that's a really good one to watch, I'd say. If you can go and watch one of Patia's Twitch streams and just go back a couple of games, over the last couple of weeks, and just maybe watch like half an hour of how they do it, is really beneficial, I think. But our level and starting out, I think you can put too many rules, regulations, and things in it can take the fun out of it at our level. So I would say probably one of the best strats that you could do to find out what your roles are in a team is to, every time you play pubs, is you swap in-game leader. So like, let's say me, Leo, and Spiral go into a pub after this. I'll be in-game leader for game 1, then it'll be Spiral, then it'll be Leo. And what you're doing is you're consistently upskilling your awareness within the game, your call-outs, the quality of the call-outs. Because we do hear sometimes, where there's too much talking and it's way confusing. So, like in my squad, I'm generally in-game leader. I'll just say, right, okay, there's a squad here, there's a squad there, I'll be putting my ping down. There's 2 teams to the left, they're podding, they've dropped early. Right, we're going to go here, and this is what our strategy is going to be. We're going to U-turn back, loot in a straight line, and then we're going to end here. So we know what the first minute of that shrink looks like, is the idea. So that's what I'd say, is try swapping in-game leaders and becoming really confident with that side of it and taking the lead. What I'd also say is with roles, with regards to like guns, weapons, loadout, and where you sit within the team, there's many different formations that suit whether you're brand new to Pot 1 or whether you're really experienced and in between, and the confidence level that you're at. So a lot of teams early on find that splitting up and going their separate ways is the way to go, and we see it with new players all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you often die, you come back for a revive, you go and do the same thing again, and you kind of split up and you die again. So I'd say that's probably a strat to keep away from. But there is the triangle formation. You've got the two up front and the one at the back, so the anchor and the two pushers. The triangle one works, very well for a lot of quick movers. You have it, where you've got one on the left, one on the right, and one straight down the middle. You have it where in my team at the moment, somehow we've adopted, and I don't know how it's working, but we've adopted it, where there's two very stacked on each other, and one is ridiculously miles away. How it's happened is because we're playing better teams, and because they're quicker across the map, we haven't quite got to their level yet. So what they're doing is they're strategically splitting us up. But what we're finding is it's really working, because two will get killed, but let's say I'm over here and I've been split, I can then do a rotate around, my two teammates can come back to me, we'll rev up, and then we're back in the fight again. So actually this week it got us a second place and a third.
Oh, nice.
Where normally, if all three of us had been together, we would have been outplayed, because that level of team was just a better quality of team. So there is a strat for that. I don't know how it's happened, but it's working for us. So we're just going to go with it for now.
And I take it the singles on range, sniper of some kind, and
well, then you have
to
then you have to really mix it up and be thoughtful, because you've got to think about then you need really a long range, a mid range, and a short range. But the idea there is not going to be, let's say I'm split off. Let's say my team's here in Metro and I'm splitting in SEM. Somehow I've got myself out of a problem. I'm not going to be camped up there in SEM taking AWP shots at somebody in Outpost, because they're just going to run straight to me.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I'm just going to
stay more
keep
quiet unless it's an emergency.
Very quiet. Try and collect as much loot for my team as what I can, so that when we rev up, we're up and running again. Like I say, it's worked this week. Is it the greatest strategy? No. But it did get some chuckles in the game when they were like, "Where did you go? Like, where? How? We hunted you and we couldn't find you." And it was like, yeah, we was like so split.
Because I wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, Leo.
Is it in your channel, the stream?
Did I stream it? Yes, actually it was casted. The game was casted. So it was shoutcasted from Spectate. I'll put the link in the channel so that you can watch it. It was quite comical.
Thank you.
Yeah. So splitting off, I think it has its place. Like, ideally, obviously, you all want to be foot perfect, comms on point, perfect positioning, perfect loadout. And you all stacked on each other. Now, can we all do that? I don't think we can at this level. I think we're still learning. But can Danderson, Scanter and Pintail and all those guys? Yes, absolutely. Of course they can. They're seasoned pros. So I would say probably start looking at really sticking together and looking at your comms and your formation where you are. And when you're pushing forward, definitely I'd say stack on each other. So looking at the roles there is like, you've got one at the back, two at the front. You're on a 3v3 situation. Would you send your two pushers in and the AWPer sit at the back? There are some scenarios where you might do that, depending on high ground and stuff. But I would say all three would stack on each other and you would all go in together. And also there is the situation where, let's say you're a 3, they're a 3, you've taken one of their players out, immediately stack on each other and rush that team, because they're on a 2 and you've got 3, so you've got the advantage. So, the chances are you're probably going to win that fight. So it's making sure that if you're working with an anchor at the back, that they're not too far away and they're just static with an AWP, because I find that can actually get you into a bit more trouble. I don't know if anybody else has any experience on that or wants to add anything.
No, I think that was really
questions?
great coverage, especially, you see a lot of the teams doing the V formation or the diamonds, the two pushers and the one person back. And you are seeing more and more the people are staying farther back than they were before, just for the sole purpose that they need to be able to revive and not be found themselves right away. And I think it's really interesting to get your perspective on, how you guys are doing it now, because that's interesting.
There's really no right and wrong at this level, I don't think. There really isn't. When you're in the Diamond and PPL and stuff, there really is. Because that's how they're winning games consistently all that time at that level. But at this level, when we're doing, pubs and very low level competition, I think it's trying it and finding it out, and don't be afraid to try it. The best place to try this stuff out and get it wrong is scrims. Because we're doing it at the moment where we're doing scrims every single day, and that's really the only play we're doing. We're not really playing pubs. And what we're doing is we're saying, right, what do we want to practice on this week? For 5 days, Monday to Friday, we are going to focus on what? So last week was rotations, and we actually found out we are shit hot at rotations. Amazing. So we got loads of confidence from this. We worked in and out and round and slipped in and through teams. We did U-turns. We took damage shots and then backed out, introduced teams, and we were like, oh my God, there's 3 teams left. Let's just go. There's us and 2 others. They're fighting. It's time to third party. Let's go. So we focused wholly on rotations last week. This week is all about hot dropping and winning the fight on a hot drop. So, we've died quite a bit, but it's fine. We go sit and spectate, and then we say, right, what could we have done differently? Did we make the right call? Should we have gone together a bit more to the right, or did we do the right thing by going straight on? Did they just outplay us? And it's just about being honest with what information that game gives you. So I'd say scrims is great for trying out teams and formations and roles and stuff like that. The other thing that I'd say is extremely important, and I always used to take this quite badly until somebody said it to me and it made so much sense. It's best to make a quick wrong decision than a slow no decision.
Right.
So if you're an in-game leader, don't apologise. Like, I always used to lead my team into death by saying, right, we'll go here and do this, and then it's like, oh guys, God, I'm so sorry, I've done this and I've done, and it would all become then a conversation and we're not focused. We now have an understanding that when we make a call and we go, if it's the wrong one, you know what, we just try our best to get out of it. But it's better than a no decision and you're stuck static going like, what do we do? Where do we go? Do we go here or do we go there? Do we right, where are they? Oh my God, there's somebody pin dropping. Like, right. It's so disorganized. So I'd say a quick bad decision is better than a slow no decision is definitely number one, I think.
Yeah.
Spiral, you was going to say something a second ago.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, when you were talking about doing the hot drops and then discussing what went and what didn't, do you guys do that just directly afterwards, or do you watch them back like a recording so you get a better bird's eye view type situation? I guess it wouldn't be bird's eye, but like a more thorough action report, or do you guys just do like a quick from that perspective talk and then you're on to the next one?
So what we do is when we go up into spectate, so like an example this week, we went on a hot drop. I called it, well, we knew we was all hot dropping, but we might hot pod as well. So does everyone know what a hot pod is?
Just quick, get out.
Yeah.
Off the immediate area and drop.
Just get off the immediate area and hot pod, yeah, and drop. So we call that a hot drop. So all we'll do is just change the wording. So it's pod. But we knew this week it's hot pod. So off the platform you have good sides and bad sides. Are you all aware of the good sides and the bad sides to drop?
For the most part.
Okay. Yeah. So the only way really you can understand it is to go into a custom room like this and start game and see where it puts you, and then look at your map and be like, oh, okay, I can see the entry and exit points here for a hot drop. That's a good one. So we had a couple of really good hot drops and a couple of really awkward ones. I said drop, when actually it was a hot pod. We went anyway because we're committed, and that's what I called. And then when we went into spectate, we looked at it and said, right, the call was wrong, but what would the outcome have been differently, because it was a bad side. So even though we were hot podding, it was still a bad side of cemetery. The loot was poor. We would have been loot starved. We had no real hard cover to get loot. So would the outcome have been any different? Probably not. So where did it all go wrong? It went wrong with the call. So we unpicked it that way.
Gotcha.
And then what we sometimes do is, if there is comp games being casted, which there's more and more being casted all the time at lower level, we go back and we'll watch it when we can, or one of us will watch it and pick bits out and be like, God, I can see it from a bird's eye view now, because it's very different looking aerial. Like we learned from that one where I got split off and cleared off and you know, was life insurance. And we learned loads from that game, but we also learned how we had got the rotate down. So we didn't do everything bad. It was just, you know, some bits were like, oh my God, actually we're really good at this. Girls, like, because we're a team of 3 girls. So it's like, girls, we've got this. And we're okay. So it does bring a lot of confidence as well to watch back.
Cool.
Any questions? Make
huge.
sense?
I was gonna say, even in public lobbies, honestly, you know, people who just quit out, you know, exit once they've died their squad. If you just stay and spectate, you're able to see other team strategies. Even if, you know, they might not be the best, you can then pick apart the strategy. You can sort of see how people move around, even in public lobbies. So I always will stay and watch just for fun sometimes. You know, you get to learn sort of different dynamics.
The only reason why I cast and shoutcast all of the comp games that I do is free training. Yeah. Completely free training. So I'm getting, like, right in front of me. I can see what's going on. I can see how the high level, medium to low level are doing it. I can then spot, oh my God, you'd have done that there. So anything like that that you can, you know, look at or get involved with, like, it's just free training.
When you say shoutcast and cast, is that just streaming it, or is that something different?
Yeah, so it's basically where you go immediately straight into the sky and then you commentate on the game. You're casting on the game and commentating. And
oh, gotcha.
It.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that for games that you're not a part of.
Yeah. So like this Friday, the PPL is playing, which is the Population 1 Premier League. So that's 6 o'clock, 7:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern, and I'll cast the 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, or the 6 and the 7:30, depending.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
It's good to watch. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, I can see where it would be.
You learn a lot. Yeah, you learn a lot. It's good.
Kind of like sportscasting a game. You're watching the match and calling it out, and that's
absolutely
neat.
And then you get the viewers asking questions and answers and things like that. So everyone's getting involved, and it's just a really nice environment and like a nice community to be a part of as well.
Sweet.
It's cool. Yeah.
Plus, you get to listen to that gorgeous UK accent, giving you
an
overview of everything that's happening. It is. Come on. What could be better?
Come on, this Barry White. I sound like a truck driver. I sound like a truck driver.
You have fun.
Somebody said that to me in a lobby once. They're like, "Hang on a minute, is that a chick?" And I was like, "Yeah, over here." And they're like, "Barry, you sound like a truck driver." I was like, "Okay, I don't
That's Paps.
Okay, good. So what's next on the list? What have I missed, Jake?
Let's see. We got moving. Tournament point system.
Okay, movement, actually, I'll touch on just a little bit. I haven't really done too much on movement. What are the subcategories he's got on movement? I know he'd written something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, he did. There's some... I'm trying to see what we got here.
There's some obscure sentences in there I didn't understand at the start.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out. They're going to be posting some infographics which are going to basically show sort of when you're doing movement, what does the different position require, you know? And there's been some debate back and forth between the mentors on, you know, well, one language, what do you call the different positions, and then also what does each position actually contain in their loadout. So that's still being worked around. As far as the moving around, yeah, I couldn't understand a word of what was mentioned in that.
I can see it, right. Okay, so yeah, I'll just recap on this then, because I've missed some bits out of it. So basically, a lot of people are asking positioning. It can depend on squad structure. So again, yes, it depends on squad structure. But what you don't ever want to be is free. You don't want to be, free crossing a street, free flying. I got shot out of the sky. I played duo scrims last night with a friend. I was highly drunk because obviously the Queen is celebrating her Jubilee. So I was clearly drunk.
Well, yeah.
So this is my excuse.
Of course.
But we was playing duos and we did it on a metro map, and I flew off the top of apartments over to the other one, and I knew there was a team there. But I knew, and I still did it, and I was like, it's everything that you shouldn't do. So movement, being free and having always hard cover is absolute key to winning a game. It really is. So whenever you're moving, building, if you're in a bit of a free open area to, move around, and we did some builds the other night, didn't we, Jakey, after
we did.
the other session of how you can advance. So there's ways that you can use your builds to advance on people and then defend as well and get out of the way if you need to and exit out of a fight. So, maybe that's another session, or I'm happy to show you at the end of today or whatever. It's whatever you guys want. But movement is got to be quick. What you don't want to do is loot too long in the same position, make a no decision and it be slow and teams catch up with you because you're going to get in a pinch. If you're consistently moving around that map and you're tight and together, or Complete put it a really good way, and I'll try and explain what he meant because it was his words, not mine. But basically, you and your teammates never want to be any further away from you to your closest enemy.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It does,
so it's like a piece of string. You want to be tied to your team through a piece of string. So you can just rein them in and you've got them right beside you, and there's not more distance between you and your teammates than there is you and the enemy. Is probably the best way to explain
That makes sense. So when the enemy's further away, you can relax up, and when you see them, or when you know where they're, then you tighten back up and get closer.
Absolutely, that's it. Yeah. And also on these shoutcasts, you will see endgame when the final zone comes, how the smallest square, like the square here, can have 3 teams fighting in it. It's crazy because you'll have three stacked like this, like I am, like here, literally 3 of us just fighting the same corner, same perspective, and then you rotate together, and then you'll have one in that corner and maybe one in that corner, and they are stacked on top of each other. And that's the other thing as well, is terminology when making calls. So I know you guys call it stacked, we actually call it collapse. So if I've got a team about to push me and I look at my teammates and they're a little bit further away than what the enemy is to me, it's collapse. It's forget what you're doing. Immediately, we have to just collapse on each other and form like a very small circle of 3 people. So you could say also, it depends. That's when you're ready to attack. If they're shooting you, obviously you don't want to be 3 people because they're just going to get all 3 of you on a bullet spray. So it's really practicing all of these different strategies and what works. But I'd look at just breaking it down from what I've said. In-game leader, practice in-game leader. That's going to be a massive one. Quality of calls, your terminology, clear and concise, and directions and information. If it's quiet, don't worry about it. It means you've got no information to relay, but you don't want to fill it with chit chat. If you're playing seriously, then what I'd say is practice that between the 3 of you. Practice different formations, 1 at the back, 2 up front. Try the left, right, and straight down the middle. Try the diamond, the triangle, all of these different strategies, and work out what's best for you. Try making quick bad decisions and forgiving yourself, then slow no decisions, and then try stacking on end game fight and see how many more you win, and see if that helps you.
I actually like your terminology, collapse, more. I think it makes a lot more sense if you think about it logically. Collapsing, all coming back together. I think stacking, I guess it's all terminology, but I like your term.
It is, and like the Americans say to me all the time, they're like, oh, it means this and it means that, and it's like, yeah, it means the same thing, just don't get hung up on the words. It's just that we interpret it better. Like we just interpret it better.
Collapsing together, yeah.
Okay, so they're the 4 summary points I'd take away from all of that I've just said. Right, league points. Here we go. So it's quite interesting actually when I did this. So I have posted a graphic for you, and I've posted the Go P1 League, the ARC League, the UGL League, and also the VRPL League, so that you've got an idea of what their strategies are from a points point of view. So what you've got is the Go P1 League is all about aggression. They're enticing you to fight aggressively by their point system, and the reason being is because you get 5 points for a win, 3 points for a second, and 1 point for a third, 1 point per every kill, and 1 point for every 275 damage. So what that's telling me is it's making it more damage points and more kill points than all in the placings. So that's why Go P1 suits a lot of players, because it trains you to be really aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have ARC leagues, which are generally more swayed towards strategy and a placement. So for first you get 10 points, second 7, third 5, fourth 3, fifth 1, anything else 0, 1 point per kill, and 0.002 per 1 damage. They make it really complicated.
Right.
So basically, what I'd say is it's very much a placement game. So it's all about not taking an early fight, yes, picking and getting a bit of damage, but then backing off and probably getting down to the last, 2-3 and trying to win that game for the points. Then you have UGL. They have 5 points for first, 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 for fourth, and half a point for fifth. They have 2 points per kill.
Oh, wow.
And 1 point per 150 damage. Wow. So that's really aggressive. Right. So this is now all about killing them teams off and getting as much damage as what you can. So again, that switches the play style and your strategies up. So again, it's a great ground to try. And then you have VRPL, which is same kind of system as ARC, but a little bit different on the damage by the looks of it. So you've got, excuse me, let me get it. So 10 points for first, 7, 5, 3 and 1. So same theory. And then you have 1 point every 500 damage and 1 point per kill. So yes, you're getting rewarded for picking fights, getting fights and all of that, but it's also coming back to that placement and strategy. So you've got a lot of other leagues out there, like the Metaverse World League, which is a great one for learning close combat. It's a sick setup. And it's all done on placement. You don't get anything for kills and wins. It's all done on placement. But what they've done is they've made the zone extremely quick. It's like fighting in end zone with 6 teams. It's amazing for close combat training.
Wow,
awesome.
okay.
The zone actually closes faster than you can run. So with the games, they'll have, what is it, 6? Do they do 6 or do they do 8 in a match? I can't remember. But it'll last 6. An hour. Yeah, so imagine 6 whole rounds in 1 hour. That's how fast it goes. I think they say around 7 minutes per game, because the zone immediately starts to close.
Wow.
So what you can't do is pod and camp over there. I tried it when we did the testing for it. I said, right, we're going to pod the whole way out. And then I looked down at my map and I went, we're not, because we've got 3 seconds till the zone closes and we're only covering half the map here in a pod. So it's like, quick, yank the pod and let's get some loot quick and let's try and get in a position. But what it does, it makes you a really fast thinker in the game. It's got its place, this league. I really back it, honestly. I really love it. It's run by a Jewish guy who is just one of the most awesome comp players, the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He runs it very easily. There's none of this over communicating or lack of organisation. It's very slickly run. But the game itself will teach you everything you need to know about close combat, quick thinking, movement strategies when you've got to be super quick, and then fighting sort of like 5 teams right at the end. It's amazing. I love it. It's carnage. It's great.
Yeah, and there's a link posted in our Discord for that as well. If you look at what's the name of our channel? Is it the external groups, I believe, or something external? If you look at our Discord, you'll see a link for that.
So it's okay to be in more than one league?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it okay?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's definitely okay. Like, there's a lot of people that play in ARC, that play in VRPL, PPC and PPL. So you'll see the same teams in both. The only thing it comes down to is what time and commitment you want to put into it. And like I've said, really from the beginning, is I work with a lot of different leagues, and I'm not biased to any of them. I have my favourites that I enjoy the most. But what I've done is put a document up for you all with all the Discord links in, so that you could, and a bit of a verbatim about what they do they have a scrim scene, what's their format, what's the place like for a new player to comp, and is it suitable, and then a little bit of like extra info. So I just say, look around and pick the right one for you. And the same with clans. When it comes to picking clans now, clans think they pick players, and you know what, they have done for quite a while. The way I look at it is that actually players should pick clans. So when a clan puts you on a trial, also put them on a trial, because if we don't know if they're toxic, or you don't know what you're getting into, do you? You just you just want the name in front of you and you want to be part of that community. So I just always say, be very, very careful when it comes to selecting a league and also a clan. And just check them out and do a bit of research and make sure that they're a good group that you're joining and they're a good league that you're joining. And then you won't waste your time and you won't get arsed with the game.
Okay.
Thanks so much. I got to run. Thank you guys so much.
Nice to see you, Spyro. Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
Catch you soon.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, that's very helpful. And a lot of this is also great sort of lead up into what our next session is going to be, which is really a big focus. I mean, obviously we'll be doing a fun scrimmage, so we'll be doing scrimmaging, but we'll also be having a bunch of clan leaders coming to do a meet and greet. So you'll be able to ask them, you'll be able to interview them. They're not there to interview you. You're there to interview them. That is what we brought them there for. They're there to sell themselves to you. So it's a little bit more of a relaxed environment versus, as Pap was saying, when they put you on the tryout and you sort of feel a little awkward. Oh my God, I'm sitting here and they're judging me. This is going to be the exact opposite. You'll get to hear their styles and ask them as many questions as you want. And at the same time, they will be recruiting. So if you do actually find a good fit, you might be able to talk with them and do a tryout and then join their clan. So I highly recommend everyone, if you're interested in league play, you got to come to the next event on Saturday. It's going to be a great event.
And just on that, it's like, with the clans, just don't listen to everything everyone tells you. Like, it's really like it's like a business this game has become for a lot of people. So, just ask the questions, but then go and do your homework, and make sure you're joining the right one. I joined early on 2 clans that I never ever should have joined. Like, looked great on the outskirts, got involved, and it was like, holy shit, how do I exit out of here? So I decided to go completely independent and not get involved in a clan. We have our own clan now, but we're independent within our clan. We don't have a name. I'm part of CIC, which is a clan, and I'm just the only one on the EU side, poor little me. But what it is for me, that's not a competitive thing for me. That's more of a home. It's family. Right. We watch movies together. We play Demio. It's so cool. Just a lovely group of people. But other clans are very competitive, like you can only play with their players, you can't play in pubs with anyone else, or you have to compete. You're tied a little bit, you're representing them. So what I'd say is just don't believe everything, just ask the questions, check it out, and then if you're happy, then absolutely go ahead and do it. But it can be some experiences have been misled, and also very judgmental experience. So it's great that these guys have done this for you, where you can actually get to ask them, because a lot of friends that I put forward for clans went for a tryout and were just told you're trash. Like, the fuck would you take you on your trash? And it's like, what? Like,
I hate that.
You don't even know how to speak to people. Like, it's so degrading. So there's an element of responsibility as well with people's feelings, because this game's just more than a game, like everyone's used it through COVID, it's social, we've all met new people. So we have to be a bit careful, and I think clans need a little bit more responsibility about how they go with things. So just check them out is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, J.K. Well, I just wonder. I never thought about this. What kind of questions would you ask to the clan leader, for example? I mean, if there's scrims regularly or rules.
I would probably ask, knowing what I know now, I would probably ask things like, can you just tell me a little bit about the culture about your clan? So just to understand, what the culture is within the clan. Is it toxic? Is it not? I mean, they're not going to say, yes, they're toxic, are they? So then that's up to you to do a little bit of research, but at least you can hold them accountable at that point.
That's right.
And maybe I would ask things like, what level of commitment would you expect from somebody like myself? How would you develop me? Would you have a team for me? Like, maybe some of those questions, if I was to join your team, how does it look? What's the makeup of your team? What sort of things do you do weekly? Are you an independent clan? Like, Phoenix is very independent. They all do their own thing. They're not together. But that's how they operate. Where VRS is a complete and utter family.
Oh yeah.
So their makeup's very different. So I'd ask maybe things like that. The culture one for me is probably the biggest.
Speaking on that, I think what would be great, Paps, is we can maybe work, I'll take a stab at it. Maybe we can come up with a little questionnaire of some great clan questions to ask the clan leaders, because, they're so used to being the ones to push you. I think it would be great to put in the other shoes. We can give you guys sort of a list of 5 or 6, really helpful questions that would give you a good understanding of, is this a fit for me? Or is this not a fit for me? Maybe let's do that. We can really shake things up a bit that way.
And a lot of it comes down to leadership. I've seen some clans run so badly. You have to everything in life. Like, we're in a game, right? But it's going to become a very successful esport at some point. At some point, it will blow up. So, whether you're serious about it or not, I used to be. I'm not anymore. I'm a complete leisure player now, and enjoy building communities. That's where I enjoy. So competition for me is just a bit of fun. I enjoy it. However, some of the clans have really fallen over because their leadership is horrific. So I think, it's just a game, but there is an element of seriousness where you just got to look and say, do I want that in my life, and do I want to be involved with that? So if the leader's bad, I can guarantee you, so is going to be the culture of the team. So always have a quick look at the leader and make sure that it's correct, and it's genuinely correct, not just what you're being told.
That's great.
Right.
It's good. Any questions? Anything? Anybody want to know anything else?
Great information.
Yeah.
Good. I'm pleased it was helpful. If there's anything else that you can think of that you want to pick brains on or anything, I mean, I don't know everything. Like, I'll put this out there as well, because I know, like, some people might look, but I really am not the best player at all. Like, my stats are trashed, and the reason they're trashed is because I'll see anywhere between 80 to 160 brand new to Pot 1 players every week. And I'll be playing in pubs with them as well as custom rooms, helping them. So I enjoy that. And I enjoy getting people in different communities. So my stats are ridiculously bad. I'm more of a coach. Like, do I know how to play the game? Yes. Can I do it? Absolutely not right now. Why? I'm not interested. I'd sooner come in here and have a ball with my mates than what I would go and be Danderson. But I have absolute utmost respect for those people. So I can help you with all the knowledge, but expecting me to do it right now, absolutely don't expect me to do it right now. I'm too busy sat here drinking a glass of wine.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. That honestly is the community. You know, that's what we love about Paps. Is she is really great about getting this new community of players all together and really introducing them to the game, giving them tutorial, and making them feel welcome. And you know, she's modest. She's been playing the game since it came out, so she is an extremely good player. Right? It's just there are people that play 10 hours a day. I mean, there are people out there that just literally dedicate. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say their lives, but too much of their lives to the game, you know. So there's always I would never want to think about trying to be the best player. It's about having that fun, you know, and striving for whatever you want. Do you want to get sweaty? Do you want to really push it? Or do you want to just have a meet and greet, get a good social group where you can play? You know, you have a squad, you know, it doesn't even have to be a league, for example. You could just get a good squad that you're comfortable with and do the public lobbies. Or if you get a big enough group of people, you know, you get used to them going into custom rooms that are regularly hosted, like Supernatural's custom rooms are super fun, very friendly, you know. Those are other options as well. So there are some people that just don't want to do the league play, right? So there's just a lot of opportunities out there.
And I've been thinking about recently, like all these clans and stuff, and you know, how they separate themselves off and you're trash or your stats aren't good enough, you can't join us, and it's all just so horrible. And I thought, do you know what? I wonder if we could do a community clan. So they're all like-minded thinking people. Everyone gets on and has fun. We have like social events on a Friday, let's say, where we do custom lobbies and what we call silly bollocks night. We play all the fun games like Capture the Castle, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Angry Birds. We did it all last night in Pop 1. Like, there's so many things you can do. But then you might have, like, let's say, Leo, Director, and Caroline who go, well, actually, we really squad really well. Do you want to have a go at this league? And you represent, you know, the community league, but you do what you want because you're independent and you're all adults and you don't need a clan to tell you what to do. So I've been thinking, you know, is there something that could be a community clan where it's just a lovely bunch of people?
Wow, that's actually a really great. I never even thought about that.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
That is a fabulous idea. You know, and I don't know if you've noticed, but so our server, this 6 Bureau Mentoring has actually grown. We have more members in our server and on Discord than UGL does, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I think this would be a great place where we can start talking about that and maybe really building that kind of community environment for those that don't want to be going into those, you know, intense clans, you could say.
Yeah. Where they've got to train every Tuesday at this time and do this. They can dip in, dip out, develop if they want to. But you can also take it very seriously. So you could have like a lead squad in the community clan that are like killing it in gold, but come back. And you know what? They're independent. They're themselves. They're not owned by anybody. They've done it. It's not a name. You don't get kicked off the clan. It's you know what I mean? You're representing you. And I think there's some value in that somewhere, I think. Just to, you know what? These bloody comp players, they need shaking up a bit, you know. We've got to keep them on the toes.
That's right. I love it.
I don't know. Maybe there's something.
Oh, I think there's something there for sure. Any other questions?
I had a question about all the non-public games. At which level should you consider going into custom rooms and playing leagues? Like, if you're sub 60, is there a point, or you're just gonna get bulldozed?
No, I don't. I think game levels. So you know, level 1 Blue PJ, right the way to level 62 Roy now, absolutely is only time in the game. There was a time right at the beginning where levels were important, and it was kind of disappeared around February 2021. Because Vape Life was the first one to get Golden PJ level 60 in 3 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
And what that told everyone was, There was just time in the game. He just spent 10 hours a day in the game. So levels,
Or
I
like
play with some
16
levels.
hours a day in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, true, yeah. Like, I play with some level 42s who are amazing. And what they've done is they've come away from pubs and just spend their time in scrims and custom lobbies, because that's where the development is. Pubs has its place, but you will only hone the same bad habits.
Exactly.
So I would say get into a custom lobby, into a scrim, as soon as you can, with somebody that's prepared to squad up with you. If you've got a squad of your own or whatever, try and get with better players. I think we covered this on session 1. Try and play with better players to start with. What level are you, if you don't mind me asking?
54.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got time in the game, which is great. I would 100% now be going into scrims if I was you. Play with better players, and then play with your normal squad and be prepared to get absolutely beaten up for the first week. And I'll give you a good example of this. If you look in VRPL League on the standing sheet for the PPC, there's a team called CIC, I think it's Informative or something like that. These are 3 players I put together 3.5 weeks ago. They played in pubs. I kind of filled in for them until they got the 3rd. And then I said, right, boys, we're going to do a week of scrims. And they're like, yeah, wicked, let's go. First game, got absolutely whooped. Danderson's in there, Scanter's in there, all of those guys. BLT, you know, all the names.
Of course.
We go in the next game and we get absolutely whooped. We go in the 3rd game and we get 4th. And one of the guys was like, I'm really, really annoyed at this. It's seething. I'm bursting. So I'm like, why are you bursting? And he's like, well, I win in pubs. And I'm like, forget it. Forget it. That's not going to happen. You're not going to wipe lobbies here with 20 kills and 3k damage. It's not going to happen.
No.
He didn't want to come the 2nd day, and I kind of forced him. I bribed him. He didn't want to come the 3rd day, and I did the same. By Friday, he was winning games. They've just done their first competition as a 3, and they are mid-table against some seriously good competition.
Wow.
So scrims, 100% go all the way.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
If you follow Hey Blitz or Kamikaze or whatever name he goes under
Whatever
now.
he calls himself
Hey Blitz.
now.
Yeah, Hey Blitz. If you look at his history, he was around a purple level player about 9 weeks ago. He's just done scrims and focused. He's now in Diamond Division. He's not. It's now Red Division for him.
It's Red Division, yeah.
So he's just completely done it through scrims and just worked his way up, got with better players. They've then recruited him, and then he's done it that way. So yeah, do it. Get beaten up. Get thrashed and still turn up.
And that's the beauty also of this coming Saturday, is sort of a no judgment scrims event. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say scrims are really judgmental in general, but this coming, Saturday is a training, and it's going to be introducing you to scrims. So if you've never done a scrim before, this is the perfect sort of testing ground to do it, because everyone else is learning the exact same thing. You're not going to have to feel embarrassed or judged or anything like that. I know some people look at me like, why, who feels embarrassed or judged? A lot of people do. A lot of people get embarrassed. So this is the perfect testing ground. So, if you've never done a scrim before, I highly, highly recommend come Saturday. If you can't come Saturday, what I would say is we have a squad up channel. Put a message in there. You'll get a few of us to reach out to you, and we'll definitely take you in, and we'll take you either to a custom lobby. We can do a lot of different things. So if you can't make it Saturday, definitely reach out, because I think this sort of mentoring environment is really a great place to learn about scrims without having that heart palpitation of, oh, who's watching me, what are they doing over there. It's a really great learning environment.
And I just had somebody from the lobby the other night reach out to me, I think it was last night actually, and say, is there any chance you can help me just stick me excuse me, with a higher level player? I'm struggling a little bit here and I can't push through it. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Give me Tell me where your natural position is. What do you enjoy most when you're playing in the game? Is it up front? Is it mid? Is it, like anchorman? And he didn't know. He was like, I don't really know where I fit. And it's like, oh, okay. So what we've got to do now is just work out where you fit. So I've given him a task to do. Go and play so many games. Then I want you to come back and just report to me on what you enjoyed most. Where did you get your biggest kick? All of this kind of stuff. But I know who I'm going to stick him with already from what he's told me today from them 10 games he's done today. So I'll stick him with a mentor who'll just play some pubs with him and a few custom lobby 1v1s. And I know after a week that, that player will increase and find another level to his game. So there's loads of people out there that want to help. So just reach out. There's loads of people that help.
Oh yeah, everyone, especially in our community. I mean, if you reach out, ask a question, public chat, ask a mentor, any of those channels. I've never been more proud of a group of people. Everyone in our mentor group, they're not toxic. They're actually interested in helping. They really are. So if you reach out, asking, just like what Pap said, asking, can I get a mentor? You don't have to worry. We're going to find you a mentor. It might take a little bit of work. We might give you an assignment, but we're going to find you someone. That's the whole point of this whole group. That's what I love about it.
And also, there's loads of things coming up that we've spoke about, isn't there, Jake, that we've got some ideas on, like things like, an Immortal Combat where we stick, two pretty new to comp players or developing players, let's say, to give it some credibility. Because I don't like the word noobs. I hate that word. Absolutely. It should be banned.
It should.
It's so disrespectful. So, some developing players and stick them with an Immortal Division, Diamond Division or PPL player. And then you both, all three of you go off and play some games and find, your roles, and you get that real good motivation from it and excitement, and then you go in and absolutely battle it out against the others. So there's loads of different things that people are helping with and coming up with ideas. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, so keep watching our group, because we have a lot of ideas and a lot of connections, as you'll see on Saturday with the sheer number of clan representation we're going to have. It's a first time, and the Big Box team has been very great with promoting our events. I mean, they've been putting us on all of their social media channels, really trying to reach out because they see the value in us getting, as she said, the developing the inexperienced players, getting them into the community. That's what they want to see. And anyone here that wants to help out with that as you grow, we would absolutely welcome that. That's what this entire community is about, supporting each other.
Cool.
Any last
Great.
questions?
Well, really appreciate the info.
No, that's fine.
Very good. Very
no
good.
problem.
Thanks
Anytime.
for organizing the whole thing.
She's an encyclopedia of info.
Yeah, thanks, Jakey.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do.
Tina Turner. Don't let me break out into Tina Turner.
Oh, I might. I might have to, actually. I don't know about that. You're simply the best. Fun stuff. Well, this was a great session, everyone. So, definitely keep a lookout. And unless there's any last questions or requests, we can call it a night in this beautiful, smoggy metropolis that we have right now.
There we go. Great.
Got it. Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
stuff,
Jake.
guys. Nice to meet you all.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you all.
Yep. Thanks.
Likewise. Take care.
Thanks, CGA. That was
See you
great.
later.